Hello and welcome to the Mariana Dalto Show, the podcast where small business owners share their stories, insights, and strategies for success. I'm your host, Mariana Dalto, and our guest today is John Dwyer. John is a direct response customer attraction expert. He helps business owners understand how to leverage platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn by implementing incentive-based marketing offers that they can be targeted specifically to certain audiences. Welcome, John, to the show.
Thank you very much, Mariana. Pleased to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, I'm very excited about this topic. So tell us a little bit first, what motivated you to establish this business, the Institute of Wow, and how did your career path lead you here, I guess?
Yeah, good. Okay. Well, look, my business is called the Institute of Wow.com. So it's all about teaching businesses how to use wow factors rather than price discounts to sell their products. And the reason I say that is because if you are a small to medium-sized business, and let's just say you have a corner store and Costco is across the road and you think you're going to beat them on price, you've got another thing coming. And so what we do is that we teach businesses, particularly small to medium ones, that look, you're not going to beat the 40-ton gorilla competitor on price. So what you should do is use wow factor value adds to take people's attention away from the price and encourage them to buy from you. Now, that could be if they buy your products or services, they get a dining voucher, or they get a movie voucher, or they get a vacation. There's all sorts of different incentives that you can do to get people to take their eyes off the price. And how I came across this business is that when I left school and did college, I did the advertising and marketing degree at college and learnt nothing, of course, because the teachers at college have never been in business. Okay, but you walk away with a certificate, I guess. And I worked for a supermarket chain here in Australia, and as you can tell from my accent, I'm down under. And when I was at this supermarket chain called Woolworths, they did a lot of what we call continuity promotions. So they would say at the time, look, for every $10 you spend with us, you get a point. And when you get 10 points, you got cheap cookware and glassware and all that sort of stuff. And then we got into scratch games where they could win $1 million. Every time you spent $50 at the supermarket, you got a scratch ticket and so forth. And I could see how this artificial wow factor stuff was influencing people to buy. And so I thought, look, I'll leave here and set up my own business. And that's what I did. And here I am now 1,000 years later.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's good. And then so let's talk a little bit more to identify and define a little bit what incentive-based marketing offers are and what distinguish them for other marketing strategies that we have in the market and people are using.
Yeah, look, incentive-based marketing is pretty much coming up with a Happy Meal toy for your business or for your product. So, just before you had me on, Mariana, we were talking about children, and you've got 2, and I've got 6. They're all grown up now, but at one stage we had 6 little children under 12, and McDonald's must have made about $7 billion out of us back in those days, because to shut them up in the car, we would go through McDonald's and I wouldn't be able to tell you what a Happy Meal cost because it was all about the free toy.
Oh, yeah.
And McDonald's have been doing that for about 45 or 50 years, and Kellogg's have been doing the same thing with the toy in their cornflakes packets and so forth. I mean, even these days, Amazon, if you join Amazon's one of their programs, you will actually get free shipping and free movies and free music. So the thing is that the idea is for you to actually come up with an incentive that you are going to give someone when they buy your product or service that they won't get elsewhere. And so my view is that if you're looking for an incentive, though, look for one that's going to be appealing to your audience. If I walked into a menswear shop and they gave me a free skateboard, I don't think that would make me go back again.
So what's the psychological piece of this incentive piece? What is it that consumers particularly are so responsive to these incentives? Like if you provide a free vacation or I don't know, anything that is free, like that is just like it's so appealing to them. What's the psychology behind it?
Yeah, well, the psychology first and foremost is everyone likes a reward. Everyone likes a free gift. And if someone came home from work today and you gave your husband or wife a box of chocolates, then they would quite enjoy that. So everybody psychologically is tuned into enjoying a free gift. And I have to say that if you said to me what were the major, most popular gifts that people could use to, sort of stimulate the sales of their products or services, I'd probably say a vacation first. If you can give someone a free vacation, then they'll love you forever. And the second thing probably would be fuel discounts, as in gas discounts. That's very, very popular. And then down the line would be movie vouchers and things like that. Now, you notice with all of those things that I've just mentioned, they're appealing to all ages and both sexes. So if you've got a product that appeals to a 20-year-old, but also appeals to an 80-year-old, you should start looking for things like free vacations or free or fuel discounts, because if you can do that, then you've hit the jackpot, because you're going to appeal to anyone, no matter what age they are.
So, but does it have to be connected to what their products or services, or does it, because I mean, if I don't know, if I do construction and I want leads and then suddenly I have my incentive to be a free vacation, how does that play a role? How do I make that connection for people?
Yeah, look, at the most successful incentive promotions are the ones that have nothing, where the incentive has nothing at all to do with the product. I mean, if you think about it, a toy with McDonald's hamburger has nothing at all to do with food. Had McDonald's said that if you buy a Happy Meal, we'll give you more fries with that, it wouldn't have been as successful. So most of the time, I mean, obviously the Happy Meal toy, whatever it might be, needs to be appealing to that target audience. As I said, if it's a menswear shop and I walked in to buy a sports jacket and they gave me a free skateboard, then that wouldn't be fun. I'd end up with my arm similar in a plaster that yours is at the moment. So therefore, yeah, you've got to make sure it's a good, what we call message to market match. And, we have I did a campaign for a bank down under where we said, look, get a home loan and get a free vacation. And the thing went nuts. And I'm going to name drop here, so I'm sorry, but I got Jerry Seinfeld to do the ads for us. So therefore I flew to New York backwards and forwards, and Jerry Seinfeld came on Australian TV and said, get a home loan from this particular bank and get a free vacation. It took billions, and not millions, but billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of extra home loans just in the first few years, because a vacation suited any audience. If it was a 25 or 30-year-old couple getting a home loan, or if it was a 60 or 70-year-old couple getting a home loan, a free vacation worked for both of those, all demographics.
With that, can they offer something that is related to their services? Let's say, I don't know, something that they sell that they can offer for free, and then any add-ons, then that's part of their additional services or products that they sell. If that is related to their own business instead of having a vacation, would that work as well?
Not in my opinion, no.
No?
And I would
Okay.
say not in my opinion. It's because we've tested all these things. There's a sushi train down under. There's a sushi restaurant chain down under called Sushi Train, and we all know what happens when you go into a sushi, Japanese restaurant. You got the little train going around. You pick out your meals. What happens with them is that when you pay your check, they actually give you points, and those points can be redeemed for more sushi meals.
Right.
I can guarantee you, if they change that to be a movie voucher, it would go 100% better. Because the thing is, once you're in the Sushi Train restaurant mindset, you don't want, well, don't get me wrong, it's nice to have, but you don't really want more sushi. What you do really would love is a trip to the movies with you and your partner. And I often say that. I tell people, look, if you're looking for an incentive, don't give them more of your product. I mean, do that if it's better than doing nothing, that's for sure. But try not to fall into that trap where you just give them more of your product because you think, oh, that won't cost me much. Make sure you give them something that's outside your product that's going to be absolutely appealing to that demographic.
So what are some of the frequent mistakes that companies make when with this incentive-based marketing, and how can they be avoided if they start approaching that strategy?
The big mistake that, and I'm sure, Mariana, you're going to agree with me, the big mistake that most businesses use, big and small, is that they don't collect data. Hardly anyone collects data. In the digital world and now the AI world that we live in, it's just amazing. But you can go to any restaurant in the world tonight for dinner and you can spend $100, $200, $300 and they'll let you leave without collecting your data. If you were going to spend $300 with me, I will know your mother's maiden name and your blood group. I mean, it's just amazing that businesses don't collect data. And I would say that 97% of businesses that we have on board, and this is both online and offline, don't collect data, and those who do collect data don't use it.
So how can then businesses effectively use platforms like Facebook, Instagram to use this marketing strategy?
Yeah, well, we've stumbled across one very recently, probably in the last 6 months, whereby we call it the Facebook contest formula. And anyone who's listening or watching this, if I could just suggest to you, just if you don't take anything else away from this interview, grab this idea and run with it, because it is a screamer. Basically, what you do is that you hold a contest on Facebook or Instagram, whatever platform you're on, but let's just say Facebook, and you hold the contest to give away your product or service as the prize. So, for example, if you were a landscaper, you would be giving away $2,000 worth of landscaping, okay? Or if you were a dentist, you might be giving away Invisalign braces, okay? So what happens, you run the contest on Facebook. Let's say it's a dental surgery. That comes to mind because we did one last week for a dental surgery. And he gave away what normally would cost $5,000 Invisalign invisible braces, okay? Now, when we ran the ad on Facebook, you don't enter to win a set of braces unless you've got crooked teeth, okay, or your children have got crooked teeth. You don't find many Hollywood stars with that Hollywood smile entering a contest like this, all right? So therefore, whoever enters that contest is just glowed in the dark as a red hot lead, not a lead, but a red hot lead screaming at you saying, I want braces for my teeth or for my children's teeth. Now, in this particular instance, this dental practice just spent $30 a day. That's all it was, $30 a day. We got 984 leads for him in the first week, 984. He wouldn't get that in 6 months. And so therefore, one of those people wins the invisible braces for their child or for themselves, but he's got 900 and whatever it is, people that he can then contact to say, look, you didn't win the prize of the braces, but guess what? We've got a special deal on this week. And if you get in by Friday, guess what? We'll give you a free vacation. And we give him these vacation vouchers for $50, and that entitles people to have 3 to 7 nights hotel accommodation anywhere across America, Las Vegas, New York, Orlando, all those places, absolutely free. So therefore, we have a deal with a travel company whereby we actually give them these $1,000 vouchers for $50, and then they use that to give that to their consumers. I say the business owner uses these vouchers to give to their consumers to stimulate them to buy. So in this instance, when they enter your contest to win your product, when they don't win, then of course you've got a magnificent database that you can follow up and say, look, you obviously want my product. You didn't win. I've got a special deal.
So you're saying, so maybe I misunderstood. So when they were signing up for Invisalign or whatever the dental thing, the free offer was a product from the dentist, or was the vacation? Was the product from the dentist?
No. You hide the vacation. Okay. So we give the business the vacation voucher for $50, but it's worth $1,000. What happens, these hotels that are part of this program, is probably worth highlighting this to you, they've become part of the program and given up their rooms for free, because outside school vacation periods, they've only got a 70% occupancy rate. So they've got a third of their rooms. So they say to the travel partner that we're involved with, look, you get the rooms for free. You do what you like with them, to give them to businesses to hand out to customers, because we're happy when the customers come here to take their 3 nights with a free vacation. We're hoping they'll spend money on food and beverage. There's no timeshare presentation or any of that rubbish, but the thing is, it's a win-win, because the business gets this voucher for $50 worth $1,000, and they hand it out as a Happy Meal toy to their customers when their customers buy the refrigerator or the landscaping services or whatever it might be. So what happens in this instance, the advertisement comes on and the advertisement says, win Invisalign for your children's teeth or for your teeth, plus a free vacation. Okay, so so then when they don't win, all those people are contacted either by humans or by robot. We have an AI robot that does it for them if they haven't got time to phone the people. And basically they said, look, you didn't win, but obviously you want braces for your children. We've got a special deal on the braces, normally $5,000, but this week they're $4,500. And if you get it by Friday, we'll give you the vacation. Forget about winning it. We'll actually give it to you. And it's all over Red Rover. I mean, it's very powerful.
Wow, that's great. So what are So can you do this in any social media platform, or specifically for Facebook or and Instagram, or
Yeah, no,
doesn't
for any
matter?
the big three, of course, Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, but I do it myself. If I'm looking to fill a bit of space in the back end of the month, I'll run a contest for small businesses online, and you could do the same thing where I say, look, win a month's worth of my consultancy worth X dollars. And this guy's the marketing guy that Jerry Seinfeld trusted with his brand, and he's looked after Kellogg's and McDonald's and KFC and 7-Eleven, blah, blah. So I'll build up the whole story about how good I am and say, if you'd like to enter to win a month's worth of consultancy from me, then just simply click and you go through the landing page. And on that landing page, obviously, I pre-qualify them. I make sure that they've got teeth and they're a business owner. So you ask the right. And then what happens is that we select one of those people and they win a month's worth of consultancy with me, but I've probably got 500 or 1,000 other people who have glowed in the dark and said, yes, I need marketing consultancy. So you can use this no matter what product or business you're in.
And then you help the business owners figure out like what's the best strategy for how to set it up, what offers, what to say. Do you help with all that, or just what's your help here?
Look, anyone can swipe the idea after listening to this interview. It's just go off and do it yourself. However, I believe that, if something's wrong with the car, I take it to the mechanic. I couldn't be bothered doing it myself. So if you're of a mindset like me, then yeah, just go to fbcontestformula.com. So FB for Facebook, so fbcontestformula.com. And for $997 a month, we look after it for everyone. So it's a very, we've got it down pat. We've tested this. We know how it works. And we had a walking frame business, would you believe, that sells walking frames with wheels on them to seniors. He came on a few weeks ago and we were blown away. We put a Facebook campaign together showing an older gentleman with a walking frame. And we just said, would you like to win a walking frame worth $500? They're called a wheelie walker because there's wheels on them. He had 821 leads in the first week, right? Most of those people were in their 70s and 80s. So therefore, he couldn't. The great part about this, Mariana, is that he spent $40 a day, which is very modest. So therefore, he said, I can't get to 800 leads in the first week. His head exploded. I said, well, how many do you think you might be able to get to by text and by phone? He said, oh, I don't know, maybe half of them. I said, well, in that case, the next week, don't spend $40 a day, just spend $20 a day. So that's the good part. Once you do the Facebook, contest formula for the first week or two, your cost per lead. And in his instance, his cost per lead was 35 cents. So we just say to him, okay, well, you tell us how many leads you want and we'll just give you that many leads every week. That's the beautiful part about it. It's a predictable model that can just give you leads after leads after leads.
So you help them with the setup and everything, and then on top of that, then you decide how much you want to spend on ads to drive that campaign on whatever platform. Is that
You got
right?
it. So yeah, the business owner needs to decide how much they want to give Zuckerberg. And but after the first week of testing, let's say $40 a day or $50 a day, if you get smashed, and most of our clients do, with a volume of leads that you just can't handle, then we just half the budget. We just say, look, okay, you tell us how much you want to spend, because if you've got 1,000 leads by spending $40 a day, you're going to get 500 leads if you spend just $20 a day.
Do they have to have a system in place to bring all these leads in? Like, is there certain requirements that they need to have so that they don't get like overwhelmed by all this data and they don't know what to do with it, or what all these leads?
Yeah, look, if they do it themselves, yes, they have to have a CRM system that'll capture the leads. But when we do it for them, we do all that. So therefore, they don't have to worry about it. They just pay us $997 a month, and it's all looked after for them. We give them the spreadsheet with all the leads on there. And by the way, depending upon what you've got on your landing page, and of course, again, we put that together. So therefore, when people come onto our thing, we know that they don't really want to get involved. So we put all the advertising campaign together, all of the copy, all of the photography or video. They get the landing page put together. And on that landing page, we tell them what we think they should be asking. So for example, in the seniors walking frame business, it was important that we knew what the age was. So therefore they put their age 75 or 81. And if they put their age at 40s or 50s, we knew that they were the children of someone in their 70s or 80s. And so therefore we spoke to them differently. So we have, automatic email campaigns ready to go out to those people saying, look, you didn't win. And when they can't contact them themselves, we have an AI robot now that actually rings them. So say, for example, you ran the contest this week And at 5 o'clock on Friday, the draw happens. And you've got 1,000 entries, but there's 999 people, of course, who didn't win. If you can't get to them, what we can do is we have a robot ring them on the Monday, and then the robot says, look, you didn't win, but we've got some great news for you. We've got a special deal on that product this week. And if you get it by Friday, you get a free vacation. And the robot
That's
sounds like a
amazing.
human. Yeah.
So in order to measure success on this type of campaign, what metrics are most indicative that this will work? I know it's like for sure getting the leads, but is there other metrics that people should think through this process in order to know what's working?
Pretty much a CPL, cost per leads. And, you know, for that seniors walking frame business, 35 cents a lead is insane. When he's selling products, $500, $1,000 products, to get leads for 35 cents is insane, because it means is that if he only has a 1 in 100, even if he's only just got a 1% conversion rate, that's costing him $35 for that sale, you know. So yeah, because we, as you know, that when you're on any of these social media platforms, B2B is sometimes expensive. So for me to attract customers, which would be business owners, I might be paying 40, 50, 60, $100 a lead sometimes. But because I'm selling something that might be, you know, $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000, I can live with that if I've got a 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 hit rate. But when you're in the consumer product area, then of course, you know, you can get leads much, much, much cheaper because of the huge audience that you have in front of you. So if you've got leads for, let's say, 50 cents, let's say for your product or service, whether you're selling a refrigerator or you're selling lawn mowing services, and you get a lead for 50 cents and you've got a close rate of 1 in 10, wow, you just look to the heavens and say, thank you, God, because, you know, you've just got a sale for $5.
This is an
So
amazing strategy. I love it. I'm even curious for myself, to be honest, because it's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So let's talk about a little bit of maybe on the other side, from not from the business owner, not but from the lead or the customer who's looking at this ad, like is there any skepticism that is coming towards these offers, and how do they have probably that thinking of this seems to be good to be true, like how a business owners can, you know, maybe deal with that kind of skepticism that could show up, right?
Yep, very good point. And yeah, skepticism, particularly in the world that we live in now with social media, is alive and well. The best way to you know, combat skepticism is to reveal the elephant in the room. And that is, like, if you were giving away a vacation voucher, something like that. This is our hottest promotion, by the way, out of everything. We've got $1 million draws that we do, whereby you don't have to pay the $1 million. We have Lloyd's of London give you the $1 million for $20,000. And we do, you know, fuel discounts. We do all sorts of things, but the vacation promotion by far is it's the hottest Happy Meal toy I've ever seen in my career. So if you combine that with this Facebook contest formula, then it's all over. I mean, yeah. Skepticism comes in big time when you've got a travel product, because everyone's seen the travel scams, and so have I. I've been in the marketing game, so I've seen every scam there is. And as long as you reveal the elephant in the room and say, look, the reason that we can give you a 3 to 7 night vacation for free is because we have a relationship with a travel company that gets access to unsold hotel rooms around America and around the world. These hotels realize that there's nothing more perishable than tonight's room. You can't sell it tomorrow. So they give up these hotel rooms in the hope that whoever stays there will spend money on food and beverage. The moment you explain the rationale behind it, everyone goes, oh, of course. So that's why you can give me a free vacation voucher, is because the hotel hopes that we're going to spend money on food and beverage. And then you say to them, and of course, there's no timeshare presentation. So don't worry that you're going to be locked in a room, because that's what everyone is worried about. These hotels do not have timeshare presentations. It's purely and simply they're filling an empty room, hoping you'll spend money on their food and beverage. Now, the moment you explain all of that, the skepticism just disappears, and so it should.
So what part in the process do you explain it, though? Like, because if you see an ad, the ad is not going to explain that. Somehow in the process after, if people ended up like maybe signing up, I don't know, where do you get that chance to explain so they don't think that it's a scam?
Yeah, look, because I'm in an interview format, I've been reasonably anal and I've given you every angle. If you were doing this on a Facebook video ad, okay, or you would just do a Facebook ad, you would just have 1, 2, 3. You say the reason for this are 1, 2, 3. Number one, outside of school vacations, hotels have a 30% vacancy factor. Number two, they would love to fill those rooms with free guests because they're hoping they'll spend money on food and beverage. And number three, you get a free vacation as a result. So when you are doing it in printed format or even on a 30-second video ad, then obviously you condense the explanation down to 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. All right.
Yeah.
So what advice, anything else that you want to give business owners related to this incentive-based marketing? What else would you like to say?
Well, look, aside from collecting data, which is very, very important, what I would say to business owners, try to do your best to avoid price discounting, because if you're in a Me Too industry, and let's face it, most people are. So let's just say you're in the solar industry, you have a gazillion competitors out there that are putting much the same solar panels on the roof of a home as you are. If you're selling furniture, there's a million other furniture shops. If you're selling, if you happen to be a veterinarian clinic, there's a million others. So therefore, if you're in a Me Too industry, everyone looks like you, and you actually go down the price discounting path, your competitors can beat you in a heartbeat. They can actually drop their price within 5 minutes. In the online world that we're in at the moment, if you see an ad for someone and they're charging $99, then your competitors can charge $89 within 5 minutes, and you've got to change your ad. So what I say is that, look, try and make sure that you don't do that. And of course, because it's not sustainable, if you're a small business, you can't do it every day. And because your competitors can beat you in 5 minutes, why go through all that pain? Instead of giving a discount, come up with something that might cost you the same as a discount, but nobody can copy it quickly. And that's why if you give away, classic, Mariana, is that when I had Seinfeld doing the get a home loan, get a free vacation promotion for this bank down under, although Seinfeld's not easy to duplicate, we ran it for 3 or 4 years before I got Seinfeld involved. It was just get a home loan and get a free vacation. Guess what? Easiest thing in the world to copy. Any other bank could have done that in a heartbeat, but because it's outside price discounting, they don't think that way. So for 4 years, right up until when Seinfeld came on board as a spokesman, we came on TV every single night and we said, get a home loan, get a free vacation. No bank copied it. And what you need to understand is that most businesses, including banks, are run by good technicians, not marketers. So if you become a marketer or you hang around marketers, guess what? You're not going to have any competition, because most people are left-brained when it comes to marketing.
Okay, excellent. So I think you mentioned a resource that you wanted to share with the audience before we end the show. What was the resource again?
Yes, look, my evil plan, given that I've already mentioned that you should click marketing, is to provide your viewers, your listeners, with a fantastic gift, and I'll give them the URL where they can find it. And that fantastic gift is a little book that I wrote. And it won't mean much to you if you're listening to this, but if you are watching it, then this book is the size of a tabloid newspaper, and it's called the Wow Manifesto. And the reason it is because it contains about the last 15 or 20 years of my career, all of the direct response marketing ideas that worked. I didn't put the ones in here that didn't work. So there's 300 pages in here of direct response marketing idea after idea after idea. And I'm happy for you to swipe that. And this book here, by the way, the leather-bound one with the gold-tipped edges, it cost me $420 to print. So I can't give you the real book, but I'll give you the digital version of it. And if you would like that, my name is John Dwyer, but I get JD. So the actual URL is probably going to make you sick, but it's getmorejd.com. So therefore, if you go to getmorejd.com, I'll show you how to get the book.
Excellent. Yeah, and I'll put everything in the show notes for the audience, so then you can get the resources, the website, everything from John, so then you guys can connect in case you're interested to really apply these strategies to your business. Thank you, John, so much for these insights, for these new strategies, like for bringing new ideas for the audience to implement in their business, to get more leads. I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right. Anything else that you want to share before we wrap up?
No, I have to say, well, look, one last thing, and that is, look, the mistake I made in my 20s and 30s is that I hung around a lot of left-brain people. And that sounds, don't get me, I mean, left-brain people typically are operationally minded, they might be accountancy minded, and they tend to say, oh, why? Oh, why are you doing that, JD? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And what I found is that when I swapped the group of people I was hanging around with to be right-brained people, and they're people who say, why not? All of a sudden, the sales started taking off and money started coming in. Because I'm not saying that you should support someone if they've got a stupid idea, but what I found is if I hung around left-brained people who said, oh, but why? Why are you doing this, and why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Everything stalled. It just stalled because you had doubt in your mind. You thought, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. But the moment I hung around entrepreneurial thinkers, which are known as right-brain thinkers, they're creative, then guess what? Just about all of those people say, oh, why not? Look, that's one. And now they will encourage you to do some research before you actually put the house on it. But nonetheless, they say, why not? So when anybody asks me, is there any advice you might want to hand on to people, particularly young people, I just say, look, try and hang around people who say, why not? Because they're a lot more fun to be around, and you'll do a lot more projects.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, John. I really appreciate your time, all the insights. Thank you to our listeners as well for tuning in today. We will add again all the resources in the show notes. And if you like this episode, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review so then we can learn from you and hear from you if you have any questions. Thank you so much. Thank you, John.
Thanks,
See you next
Mariana.
time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.